So it is Thursday, January 18th. I'm starting this vlog on a Thursday, so this is just gonna be combining weeks 3 and 4, mostly because I'm still kind of getting over a cold, so I haven't really been reading in week 3 that much, and when I do, I'm like super lazy about it and just go for my audiobooks. So I did just finish my last audiobook, which was The Atlas Complex, so if you want more of my thoughts on that, you can watch my week 2 vlog. I'll link it in the cards. I did decide to pick up Juniper and Thorn by Reid. So this one, I started it. I haven't gotten super far into it, but it's giving me like ACOTAR vibes, and I'm not sure why. It's like ACOTAR mixed with like Folk of the Air. It is supposed to be like a dark fairy tale sort of feel to it, but even though those are fae books, I don't really consider them like fairy tales. I guess ACOTAR is kind of like a retelling of like Beauty and the Beast and then Hades and Persephone, so maybe it is. I don't know. It just feels weird because it's not like as in your face as those books. Like these seem a little bit more atmospheric, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna like it just because it's so familiar, and it was definitely not the feeling that I was expecting to go into this book. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to continue on with that one. And then I haven't made too much progress on my physical book, but I am really excited in week 4 to get back to my physical book, which is The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. So far, really loving this, but like I said, not super far into it, and I've been reading it literally all month. So it's Sunday, January 21st, and I finished Juniper and Thorn by Reid. I totally understand now why I was thinking ACOTAR when I first started reading this book, and the reason is because of the audiobook narrator. She also narrates A Court of Silver Flames, so that's why I was getting those vibes from it. It is like not like those books at all though. I'm honestly not super blown away by it though. I do like the atmosphere of the book, and I loved the writing, and I even loved like some of the images that this book had, because it does get a little graphic at points, but other than like those particular sections, it felt very YA. Like the main character, Marlinchin, was 23 years old, but she felt like a young teenager to me, like 14, 15, like on the younger side of the teenager, just like in the way that she thought and things like that. That part of it I didn't really like, but overall I did enjoy the book, so I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. So it is Monday, January 22nd, and then yesterday after I finished Juniper and Thorn, I decided to pick up The Future by Naomi Alderman. So I've been kind of switching between fantasy and sci-fi books, at least when it comes to my audiobooks, and I really like this, so I decided to just kind of go with this one instead of picking up another fantasy. It was a really weird transition. Juniper and Thorn, they talk of like capitalists as kind of looked down upon, like people who only care about money, and then the first 3 chapters of The Future is like 3 different point of views of like billionaire CEO types, which just kind of surprised me because it was just like a complete mind shift, and I didn't fully expect that coming from this book, because when I think about the word the future, I don't automatically think billionaire CEO. So yeah, that was a little odd, but I'm excited to see where this one is going. I do have quite a bit of driving to do today, so I'm probably gonna get pretty far into this one, and I'm pretty excited about it. So it is Tuesday, January 23rd. I have quite a bit to update you on. First of all, I finished The Future by Naomi Alderman. This book was not at all what I was expecting, especially from the beginning, or even just in general. It was very different than I was expecting, but I really enjoyed it. I really like the audiobook. It's a full cast audiobook narration, which I don't normally like full casts, but I feel like this one was done really well. I think part of it is because it does have like the different like cast members interacting with each other, because there are some like conversations that are online. Sections will be read by different people, which I did enjoy that part quite a bit. I did enjoy that, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. I honestly don't have that much to say about it. It was just an enjoyable read for me. As for my next audiobook, I just got a book that I have been waiting for from the library. Actually, I got 2 books that I've been waiting for from the library, but the first one is Before We Say Goodbye by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. So this is going to be the next book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, and I just finished the 3rd installment of this, and it was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. So I'm really excited to read this next one. I believe this is the last one, at least that's out in English. Maybe there's more after this, but so far I'm really enjoying this series. I just love the concept of being able to go to the past, but at the same time not being able to change anything. It's like, why would you do it? But at the same time, I kind of understand it. Actually, you can't not understand it if you've read these books. They're so heartbreaking heartbreaking sometimes, and I just love every second of them. And then the last one, I haven't started yet, but I do plan to pick it up soon. Finally found an ebook that I want to read. I just got the hold of Defy the Day by Brigid Kemmerer from my library. Fortunately, for some reason, it's not letting me send a Kindle, but I can read it in the Libby app, so I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that tonight, and I'm pretty excited about it as well.
Wow, my AC is so loud. I'm really sorry if you can hear the AC right now. So it is Thursday, January 25th, and yesterday, actually the day before yesterday, I was just being lazy yesterday not to vlog. The day before yesterday, I finished Before We Say Goodbye by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and the AC just got louder. I guess it's just really hot where I am right now. Anyways, I finished it. It was only a 5-hour audiobook, so it didn't take super long. 3 different stories in it. 2 of the stories I really liked, but then one story just annoyed the crap out of me. It was about a dog, and I mean, all of the stories were about people that passed away, but this one was about a dog that passed away, and they just kept trying to emotionalize the fact that the main character was so sad about the fact that she fell asleep, so she wasn't there in her dog's like last moments. I mean, I love dogs as much as the next person, but I just could not get into that one the way I did with some of the other ones. Maybe it's because I'm not a pet owner myself, but yeah, that one just didn't work for me. Overall though, I did still enjoy the book, so I ended up giving it 4 stars. I decided to pick up for my next audiobook Tress of the Emerald Sea by Sanderson. I have not read any of like the secret project stuff from last year that everyone else has read, and I've heard Tress is really good, so I'm really excited about it, but I feel like I kind of jumped the gun on that one. I probably should have waited because it has very similar vibes to Destroy the Day, which I'm currently reading, and that one I'm also really enjoying. I don't know. I haven't decided if I want to just switch to a different audiobook or switch to a different ebook because they're just too similar in like vibes, because they're both about like young women on the open like sea, if that makes sense, and they just have like those like kind of YA vibes. So I haven't decided yet, but so far I'm enjoying both, so maybe I'll just continue on. So it's Friday, January 26th, and last night I stayed up so late reading Destroy the Day. I'm enjoying it so much, more than the second book, way more than the second book. But I do feel like it's just too similar to Tress of the Emerald Sea that I'm just not feeling like reading both at the same time. So I've decided to pause on Tress just for like a day or so till I finish Destroy the Day, which I should be finishing it later today. So I'm really excited for that. I'm also doing really well with ebooks right now because I just got 2 holds for my library that I'm so excited about. The first one is Still Let Them Burn, which is a new release for this month, and it's a YA like Dragon Rider fantasy, but it's Jamaican inspired, and I'm just so excited for it. And I was really planning to pick that up right after Destroy the Day. Then I got the hold for The Will of the Many by James Islington, which I'm really excited for also. It's one of the books that a lot of people were talking about from last year that I'm just so excited for. I don't know which one I'm gonna pick up now, because I know Still Let Them Burn is probably gonna be a lot faster because it's a YA book, but at the same time, I really want to pick up The Will of the Many, and I'm reading just so much YA right now that I kind of want something a little different. So yeah, I think I might pick up The Will of the Many and then Still Let Them Burn right after, or maybe I'll read them both at the same time and just have 2 ebooks at one point. I think that's fine, but usually I don't go for 2 ebooks, but it'll be alright. Either way, I'm super excited for both of them, so just a little sneak peek at my next week vlog for all of you. I might get to them before the end of this vlog, but I kind of doubt it. But anyways, I'm obviously in my car. I'm about to go on about an hour and a half drive back home, so I do need audiobook, and since I'm putting Tress of the Emerald Sea on pause, I decided to pick up Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I've only gotten like, I want to say about 10 minutes into it, but so far I'm liking it. This one has such great reviews from last year as well that I'm just excited to see where this one is going.
So it is Saturday, January 27th. Last night I finished Destroy the Day by Brigid Kemmerer. I enjoyed this so much more than the second book. I enjoyed it probably as much as the first book, so I really love that. I think what Brigid Kemmerer does really well is writing character relationships, both romantic and non-romantic relationships, like sibling relationships, not quite friendships, if that makes sense, acquaintanceships, maybe turn to friendships, that sort of thing. I think she does that so well, and she puts it into a nice fast-paced plot that is super easy to read, and I love that about her books. But One thing that does not work well for me in at least this series is the mystery side of the books, because she has a tendency to not use a whole lot of details. So the few details she does include end up being so obvious to lead to like what is gonna happen in the plot, if that makes sense. A good example of this is King Harrison has this part in the book where he basically tells all of the people that they can come to his door at any time, and he would be happy to talk to them, listen to their stories, and try and solve their issues. Which you would think after something like that, you would have a bunch of people knocking on his door at all times of the day, right? Well, there's only one person that is actually depicted doing this, and of course she has the exact information that he needs for later on in the story. So that kind of annoyed me, and I don't think it's because this is like a YA like series, because other YA series do this very well. Great example of this is Harry Potter. Like even in the first Harry Potter book, like the Philosopher's Stone, like the main like big antagonist is Quirrell, right? But there are so many like red herrings of who it might be and other antagonists that we don't really see it until the very end, because we're so concentrated on Snape being the antagonist and also slightly distracted by Malfoy and Filch and like other sides of this as well, that Quirrell doesn't really fall on that radar, even though there are hints and clues ahead of time that he's involved with this. So I think that's something that works really well in other books that is just not found in this series, but I still really enjoyed reading it, and I ended up giving this book 4 stars. And of course, I've also made a lot of progress on Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. So this one, I'm about halfway through it right now, right about there, a little bit more than halfway actually, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm listening mainly to the audiobook of this. I picked it up yesterday, obviously, when I was driving home, and I really love the audiobook narrator. It gives me similar vibes, or at least a similar reading experience to when I pick up the Atlas 6. So I think that's part of the reason why I'm enjoying the audiobook so much. I tried to switch to the ebook last night after I finished Destroy the Day, and I just could not get into it. So I had to turn on the audiobook and read along with the audiobook so that I could get into it, which makes me kind of sad because I wanted to switch that one over to ebook so then I could pick up Tress of the Emerald Sea on audio again, but it looks like I'm just gonna read this one mostly on audio, but switching between the physical book and ebook to follow along. I'm okay with that. I'm enjoying this so much so far, and I'm really glad that it's not like super insta-lovey. I kind of thought it would be, with the fact that it's like a more romance-focused YA fantasy, and a lot of people call it like enemies to lovers, which I love those, but I kind of thought that it wouldn't include as many details as you would expect from like most adult books, but I absolutely love all of the details that this is including, and I really love the subplot of where Iris is like looking for her brother. I think this is really intriguing, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm really enjoying this so far. One last note before I close off this vlog, I did not continue on with The Rune of Kings, and I'm really sad about it because I do really want to read this, but I'm going to be putting it on pause for about the next 3 weeks, and the main reason for that is in this week I have about 9 books from the library that I want to finish this week, which is not going to happen, but I mean I can try, because when you have a library book they're going to be due soon, so you kind of have a time limit to read them, and The Rune of Kings I really just don't have a time limit because I physically own this book, obviously. And the other side of that is I'm going on vacation soon, and I'm going to be on a ship for about 2 weeks, and I just don't want to bring a bulky book because cruise ships already have tiny cabins. I know if I get more into this week before I leave for the cruise ship, I'm gonna want to take it with me, and possibly the next book also, and I kind of just don't want to carry this while I'm traveling. So I'm gonna put it on pause, and I'll pick it up when I come back from vacation. That is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I post videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays, so consider subscribing, and I occasionally post bonus videos, so if you'd like to be notified as soon as I upload, you should click that little bell icon. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.